it's not just 2 girls or 4 girls. There was another one, and another one.
One would go, and then another one would go.
And another one.
And another one.
And then another one. And then another one.
Until by the end of the decade, you have 11 girls.
Along the lonely highways and marshy back roads of Texas, a chilling mystery has lingered for decades. 11 young girls, all bright and full of promise, vanished or were found murdered between Houston and Galveston during the 1970s. Their cases were forgotten until a cryptic confession surfaced from behind prison walls. The man called them the 11 who went to heaven. Tonight, we dig deep into one of Texas's most disturbing cold cases, and the man who claimed to be the monster behind it. Warning: the following video contains intense scenes, unsettling imagery, and frightening moments that may not be suitable for all audiences. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. Proceed if you dare. During the 1970s, young girls began to disappear from towns along I-45, the stretch of highway that connects Houston to Galveston. These weren't isolated incidents. They were part of a disturbing pattern, a pattern authorities were slow to recognize. In most cases, the victims were teenage girls. Many had been walking home, going to school, or simply enjoying a summer afternoon. Some were found in wooded areas. Others were never seen again. The victims included Debbie Ackerman and Maria Johnson, disappeared 1971. Rhonda Renee Johnson and Sharon Shaw, 1971. Kim Pitchford, 1973. Brooks Bracewell and Georgia Gear, 1974. But what tied them all together? At first, nothing concrete, just geography and tragedy.
No. 13-year-old Colette Anise Wilson has been missing for 1 month now, and her whereabouts are still a mystery. She was last seen walking down County Road 99 off State Highway.
They found Maria Johnson yesterday. Today, they found Debbie Ackerman, dead, thrown into a body of water outside of Texas City. There are a lot more questions than there are answers.
People started worrying, oh my God, is there a serial killer out there?
Girls were scared. Parents were scared. Are we going to be murdered next?
In 2011, decades after these cases had grown cold, investigators received a bombshell, a letter from Edward Harold Bell, an inmate serving 70 years for the 1978 murder of a Marine named Larry Dickens.
In 1978, a former Marine named Larry Dickens catches Bell in the act of exposing himself to a group of children. Bell shoots him with a .22 caliber pistol. With Dickens dying, his mother watches as Bell takes up his M1 carbine and pulls the trigger. A single fatal shot between the eyes. He receives a 70-year prison sentence.
The letter, addressed to law enforcement, began with a confession. Bell claimed he was responsible for the deaths of 11 young girls during the 1970s. He named them the 11 who went to heaven. Bell's writing was detailed. He described the girls, how they looked, how he killed them, and chillingly, where he left their bodies. These weren't vague statements. These were specifics only a killer, or someone very close to the case, could know.
Bell seemed like a normal guy, but his arrest record tells a different story. Bell is a predatory pedophile. He was charged 7 times for sex crimes against girls. To avoid serving time, Bell would cut deals to get psychiatric treatment instead.
We have a man that stopped in a pickup truck, and he's nude and he's right there, and he's playing with himself out in the street.
Born in 1939, Edward Harold Bell was, on the surface, a normal man. He had a wife, children, and a respectable career in the oil industry. But behind closed doors, Bell harbored disturbing secrets. His criminal behavior began early. He had a long history of indecent exposure and was arrested multiple times for exposing himself to young girls. But time after time, he avoided prison. In 1978, Bell's mask finally slipped. In broad daylight, he exposed himself to a group of children in Pasadena, Texas. When a 26-year-old former Marine named Larry Dickens confronted him, Bell pulled out a gun and shot him dead. He fled the scene and remained on the run for 14 years. Bell's letters also mentioned something bizarre, a secret organization he called the Program.
I want to know more about the program.
It started at an early age. My life is not normal. Something's wrong.
Do you think that the program made you kill 7 girls?
I think the program is what caused me to do the bad things that I did in my life.
Was the program making you want to rape girls?
I did have that problem.
Do you remember a girl named Debbie Ackerman or a girl named Maria Johnson?
I can't discuss anything that might be used against me in a court of law.
He claimed it brainwashed him and commanded him to kill. According to Bell, he was a puppet, an assassin conditioned to murder young girls as a result of his trauma and mental conditioning. Investigators weren't sure what to make of this. Was it delusion, an attempt to appear insane, or a deflection tactic? Bell's ramblings became even more unhinged in later interviews. But despite this, some of the details he gave continued to line up with real, unsolved murders. Former Houston Chronicle journalist Lisa Olson and retired detective Fred Page took it upon themselves to investigate Bell's claims. In the A&E docuseries The 11, they revisited the original crime scenes, examined case files, and spoke with the families of the victims. What they found was disturbing. Bell had intimate knowledge of certain cases, knowledge that had never been made public. In one letter, he described exactly where Rhonda Johnson and Sharon Shaw's bodies had been dumped. In another, he referenced a unique item of clothing found with one of the girls. Despite these revelations, Bell later recanted his confessions in interviews.
Did you kill Debbie Ackerman and Maria Johnson?
No, I did not.
Did
I
you
had
have
them in
sex
my
with them?
van. I let them out at the Martini Theater and with the setup for Saturday morning at 10 o'clock.
Did you have sex with them?
No.
But you confessed to their murders.
Right. But
Why?
I did not. So that the state would kill me. I was suicidal at that time.
He claimed the letters were just fiction. This back and forth left investigators and families in limbo. Edward Harold Bell died in prison in 2019. He was never charged in any of the 11 cases. To this day, the families of those girls still wait for justice. Were his confessions the truth, or the fantasy of a deeply disturbed man seeking attention in his final years? We may never know. But one thing is clear: the pain left behind is real, and the stories of those 11 girls must never be forgotten. If you found this story haunting, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you have a scary story of your own, head over to my Reddit page. You might be featured in a future video. Until next time, sweet dreams.